Mr. Minister, it gives me indeed great pleasure to hand over to you today this first cheque for $1,275 towards our goal of $30,000, specially earmarked for the rehabilitation of the Boys Academy in Vung Tau in coordination with the Australian Army.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Frankel, and I'd like to thank the Defend Australia Committee. This money will be very well spent. I had a look at this academy when I was in Vung Tau, and it's certainly in need of additional help. Our forces in Vietnam, I think, recognize the need for the civic actions being undertaken, perhaps better than anyone else, because they've seen these things at very close hand. And I know they will appreciate the work that's being done by yourselves, by the RSL, and by a lot of other organizations on a smaller scale to enable more civic action work to be undertaken. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Minister, it is with great pleasure that I hand to you today this first cheque for $1,250 towards our goal of $30,000 for the rehabilitation of the Junior Boys Academy at Vung Tau in cooperation with the Australian Army.
Well, Mr. Frankel, I'd like to thank you and the Defend Australia Committee very much indeed for this generous gesture and the effort. I know it's not easy to collect money, and a good deal of work must have gone into this. I've seen this academy. It's a very well worthwhile project, and I believe our forces in Vietnam see more or better than anyone else the need for the kind of civic action work that is being undertaken. A number of people and organizations in Australia are now becoming involved in this. Yourselves and the RSL, of course, with their major campaign, but there are a number of smaller bodies as well, and we're very grateful for this help, which will make it possible for the Army to conduct its civic action campaigns better and more effectively than otherwise would have been the case. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Minister, it gives me indeed great pleasure to hand to you today the first cheque for $1,250 towards our goal of $30,000, specially earmarked for the rehabilitation of the Junior Boys Academy at Vung Tau in coordination with the Australian Army.
Well, Mr. Frankel, thank you very much indeed for this, for these funds. They're going to be very, very useful indeed, and I'm grateful to the Defend Australia Committee for the tremendous amount of work which I know must be put in raising money of the order and of the extent to which you have in mind. I've seen this academy, and these funds will be very, very well spent. Indeed, our forces in Vietnam, I think, recognize perhaps better than most people the need for the civic action work that is being undertaken. And I'm particularly glad that not only yourselves, but the RSL and many other smaller bodies are also being concerned with the need for civic action in Vietnam, and